Hey guys, so this is my review for Vampire Diaries episode 17, Break On Through. I'm just gonna say right off the bat, this isn't my favorite episode, Vampire Diaries. I'm just gonna, a lot of people saying this on Tumblr and mostly on Tumblr, how they're sick of the let's kill the original storyline. I'm starting to get a little sick of it as well. I mean, I just think they should move on to different things. I think they should focus a little bit more on what the hell's going on with Alaric and possibly Jeremy. I'm getting a little bored with like let's kill the originals. They haven't done like I could understand if the originals have done something recently, like they've been causing havoc in Mystic Falls or wherever they are now because they've all gone except for Rebecca and Klaus supposedly. I can understand if they've been doing that, but they haven't. They haven't done anything. The only thing that's really happened is Esther wanting to kill them all and connecting them and finding them and whatever. So they haven't done anything, so I don't see a reason to want to kill them off. Just besides the fact besides just to kill them off so they won't have to be a problem, but they're not a problem. Recently they haven't been a problem, so I don't see why. I'm sorry, I just need to get that out in the open. So yeah, I'm not happy with this continuation of this theme of let's kill the originals, because I kind of got over that, like, I know a few episodes back. Now I'm just kind of like, okay, can we move on to something a little less original, a little like come up with something else, like find some other bad person. Some other person needs to come to town and be like, I'm gonna do something, an all-powerful wizard needs to pop up or something. I don't know. So, let's get on to the episode, shall we? I needed to just get that out. Okay. Tell me if you agree. Are you sick of that theme? That could be a question. I'm going to save that for later. Anyway, so the episode starts off. Alaric is getting a CAT scan because Meredith they're trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with Alaric, and they're hoping that it is something medical so they can treat it, and if it's not, then we don't know what to do. So he's taking a CAT scan, and something, I swear, like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone noticed this, but something was fucking in his eye. Like, something, like, flashed. Like, you could really, like, I don't know if it was probably just the camera or if it was just me, but you can tell, like, his personality, like, changed. Like, a flash in his eye just kind of, it switched him from, oh, yeah, I'm Alaric, I'm a cool kid, what? Damon is my bro. And then it flashed to, I want to kill all council members because they suck, kind of thing. Like, you could, like, see, like, the little, like, pointing at my eye as if it'll flash. Like, I don't know, something, yeah. It's probably just me, but I don't know. I was freaking out when I saw that. I was like, oh, there's something in his eye. Like, something did something in the, that. So basically, they do the CAT scan. There's nothing wrong with him. And Alaric's like, there isn't anything wrong with me. I didn't do this. And then he looks at the ring that's on the table. He's like, well, maybe I did. And I'm becoming crazy. So he gives the ring to Elena. And I'm like, good. Why didn't you do that last episode? Or, or just why didn't you do that before? Like, thinking like, okay, if I give the ring to Elena, I'm not wearing the ring anymore. So I'll be good. I won't be killing people. Okay. So Damon comes up, and he's like, so are you okay? Let's go. So he's like, come on, Alaric, let's go. And he takes Elena. Alaric doesn't follow them. He just takes Elena out to leave the hospital. Elena is still pissed off from last episode because she caught Stefan drinking from a woman, and I'm just like, I was just annoyed with her through this whole little bit. I was like, shut up. He drinks blood from humans. And so your anger is just not warranted, okay? Let's just, in the words of Damon from last episode, this doesn't need to be, you don't have to make it as more dramatic than it needs to be, or something. What's the word? I don't even know what it's called. You don't need to make it any more dramatic than it needs to be. Like, so Elena is convinced that Damon is not the right person to help Stefan with control his thirst for human blood. She's like, well, I did it when we were together, and well, she didn't sound like that, I'm sorry. But she's like, well, he did it. He was able to control himself when he was drinking my blood, and it's like, yeah, because you guys were together and you were in love, and he wasn't a ripper, and Stefan wasn't influenced by Klaus and out for revenge and wanting to be the supervillain and everything, you know. So she's like, well, I'll help him. Well, she doesn't say that, but she kind of leads, it kind of just like, she makes the assumption. You have to like assume that, oh, that's what she means, like, I'm gonna help him. I'm like, okay, good luck with that, girl. Just don't bother. So, and the whole Bonnie thing, I'm sorry. Caroline is helping Bonnie and helping Bonnie's mom, Abigail, with the transition to become a vampire. And Abigail is just being a complete, she was just complaining the whole episode. I mean, I can understand why. I mean, like, she was freaking out and stuff, but at the same time, she was, like, complaining a lot. And I was just, like, I was just bored. The only light in those parts were Caroline, because she was freaking badass. I love Caroline. I really love Caroline, especially when she was, especially when Jamie was like, oh, you know, like, get away from me. It's like, dude, she was just trying to help you, you know what I mean? And just, Jamie, I don't really understand the Jamie part. Jamie. I don't know. I'm not too keen on the whole Jamie-Bonnie thing that apparently the writers are trying to come up with, it. That's going to be her new Jamie's going to be her new love interest or whatever. I'm not too keen on Bonnie, as you guys all know. I'm not keen on her. I just don't like her, and so I don't care about her romances. So, I don't know. Jamie just doesn't seem like the kind of character that will last very long, so I don't see why they should, like, build this relationship up for Bonnie and Jeremy, and just to have it collapse when Jamie is killed off, you know, at some point in time, which is, you know, very common because the mortality rate in this show is very, very small. And we all know that. Everyone dies, you know, eventually in this series, unless you're like part of the main cast and you just remain on just to be cool kids. Okay? And so yeah. So beyond that, I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not going to talk too much about the Bonnie stuff because or the Abigail stuff, because I just knew that was going to happen. I'm just going to tell you right now, I knew but Abigail was going to leave at some point. Just by, like, I think, like, after the second, no, after she, like, bit Jamie by accident, I just knew she was going to leave. I just knew it. And then when she told Bonnie, she's like, I should leave, da-da-da-da. And Bonnie's like, no, if you leave, you know, you're going to break my heart more, or you're gonna make me more upset, or you're just gonna hurt me, da-da-da. I just knew she was gonna leave. I just knew she was gonna, there was really no reason to keep her on. Like, I just knew she was gonna leave. So that's all I'm gonna say, and, yeah. So Damon and Alaric and Meredith are at the Wickery Bridge, because I guess they're restoring it or rebuilding it or whatever. So, you know, they're doing that. And then, who should we see? We see Sage, and we also see Rebecca there, and Damon comments on the fact that she's been snooping around a lot. She's been asking him questions, and she's been snooping around, hanging out with Mayor Lockwood, and, you know, like, doing stuff like that. So he is very interested in what she wants. And then when he sees Sage, she goes up and says, hi, what's up? And Rebecca's like, oh, look who you are. And we soon find out that, you know, as we learned from last episode, Sage and Finn had a little bit of a thing. And Sage basically comments on the fact that the reason she's in Mystic Falls is because she's looking for Finn. And Rebecca, of course, tells Sage that, well, Finn is gone. He didn't talk about you. He just left. And Sage's like, well, maybe he was looking for me. And Rebecca's like, no, he wasn't. He just left, and he didn't say a word about you. So she just leaves, and Sage comments. She's like, oh, God, I hate her. And then Damon, you see the little smirk, like, ooh, I could use you. You don't like her? This could be, I could use this as for something. So Damon and Sage are talking, and we learn that Finn is the one that changed Sage into a vampire so they could be together forever and lovey-dovey, da-da-da. Then Klaus stakes him, and she's just been waiting ever since. And she asks Damon, do you like Rebecca? And he says, no, not if you count hate sex. And so Sage says, good, you know. And then Damon says that she's been snooping around, you know, and shut up, my computer just went weirdo. So Sage says, Damon comments on the fact that Rebecca is looking for something, and he wants to know what it is. And Sage is like, well, I can help you with that, you know, basically saying I can read her mind. Or, I really don't understand. They never really clarified how they can do that. You know what I mean? The whole mind reading thing, I never understood that. But, whatever, they can do that. So, Damon's like, well, I can't do that. She's an original. She's too strong. And Sage is like, you need to find her weakness, and that way I can get into her. So, Damon knows Rebecca's weakness is love, or like affection, and someone who cares for her. So he uses that, and he invites her over to his house, because Sage and him are having a party, and you know, the whole, you know, from the promo, like two's a crowd, but three's a party, or something like that. I don't really know. I'm paraphrasing. That's the word I was looking for a few minutes ago. Anyway. So he leaves Rebecca with that little thing, and then of course he like touches her. He like really lovingly touches her. It's like, okay, cool. Sorry, I'm seriously just like doing that. So the Steph and Elena thing. Stelena people were just so happy about this episode. I'll get to that in a little bit. But so Rebecca shows up to the party, and basically, I think Damon starts dancing with Sage, I guess to make Rebecca jealous, which he succeeds in, and she starts killing. Well, she kills the pianist that they compelled for the party. So Damon leaves Sage, and she's like, what about her? And he's like, I don't want her, I want you. And it's like, at that moment, I felt really bad for Rebecca. I seriously I couldn't take it. I was like, I love Rebecca. I love Damon. It's like, I mean, I knew that what Damon was planning and what he was going to do. Like, the minute he told Sage said, you have to find her weakness. And I'm like, oh, he's going to sleep with her and then and then Sage is going to get information from her. Which is what happened. So, I was like, I felt so bad for Rebecca, because all she wants is love, and that's just like the core of the show, isn't it? Everyone wants love, kind of. I don't know about Cole. I have no idea about Cole. And Finn is just on a suicide mission, so I don't really know if all the characters in this show wants love or anything. They just, you know. But, I did feel bad for Rebecca. I'm like, oh, I love Rebecca, and I love Damon too, and it was just like, part of me wanted to hate Damon, like, how dare you, but the other part of me was like, you knew this was going to happen, Emily, so just calm your tits. So that happened. So he sleeps with Rebecca, and while this is going on, I guess Elena has been calling Bonnie all day. Bonnie hasn't returned her calls, which kind of defeats the thing that Matt says in the last episode when he said, Bonnie doesn't blame you for what happened to her mother. That's kind of like, by ignoring her calls and knowing that your friend needs something, that's kind of like not really putting blame on her, but just basically saying, I don't want to talk to you because I don't like you right now. Do you see where I'm coming from? So by doing that, you're just kind of like, you're saying, even though you said, I don't blame her, you're kind of being like, I don't like you right now. So that's kind of bitchy, I think. So, yeah. So Elena calls Bonnie, and, Elena calls Caroline and asks Caroline to be like, hey, can you ask Bonnie if there's anything she could do to help Alaric? So we find out that Bonnie thinks that witches, when they, this sounds like the same thing witches go through when they become too obsessed with dark magic. So Elena needs to get this thing, this personal item that he wore before he wore the ring that brings him back to life. So Elena goes to Alaric and says, well, Bonnie thinks that she knows what to do, so I need a personal item. So he's like, okay, well, my wedding ring, that's it. So she's like, So he says, go to my loft and you will find it there in a aspirin bottle. And he gets up to go help her, but Meredith's like, no, you stay here because I have tranquilizers, which is lovely. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm sorry, I'm bleeding now. I should not pick my face when I'm doing a video. Anyway, so Elena goes to Alaric's loft, and who should show up but Stefan, and Alaric's asked Stefan to go, and da-da-da-da. So they're looking through his stuff, and Stefan makes the comment that you shouldn't do this, like, this doesn't concern you, and Elena's like, yes, it does, it's my family ring, and, you know, he's part of my family. She doesn't really say that, but she is, you know, you're just kind of along the lines of that. And, you know, it does involve me. I need to protect him, and da-da-da, and Stefan's like, well, you can't protect everybody. Basically, he was just being a negative Nancy that whole time, so I'm just like, Stefan, shut up, we get it, you're just negative right now. So, they look through his drawer, and they find these folders, these manila folders, and they're full of pictures of who he's killed. The picture of the medical examiner. I'm sorry, I just don't remember his name. Like, they say his name repeatedly in every episode, but I forget. Like, I guess because he's nothing, you know, he's not like a big character, and because he just got killed off, I'm like, whatever. And then Caroline's father, a picture of his death, and they just, you know, they have basically the pictures of their the murders, and which is very interesting and very creepy at the same time. At the same time, back at Elena's house, Alaric, his murderous alter ego, has come out, and he has emptied the tranquilizers and starts attacking Meredith, and holds her up in the bathroom. Basically, she locks herself in the bathroom, and he actually stops her and something, and da-da-da. So he basically just goes on a murderous rampage. We actually get to see him trying to kill people. It's not like a mysterious figure killing people. We now know it is actually Alaric doing this, which is really interesting. And back at Alaric's apartment, we find letters to Jeremy. Alaric has written them, or at least it doesn't really look like his handwriting. Well, maybe, I don't know. But it's like Comic Sans, so you can't really, I don't know, it's like the same illegible. It doesn't look like anyone's handwriting. You know what I mean. So basically, it states in the letters that if I die, it basically telling Jeremy, if I die, you need to carry on my work. And we find this like roster of the founding families. Basically, a few of them are X'd out. Basically stating that this is like a murder list, and Elena doesn't want to believe that Jeremy has been sent these letters, and she just wants to get this over with. So she finally finds something. She's like, let's go. We go back to the house. She almost gets attacked by Alaric, and Stefan helps with that. And they go up to the, well, Stefan realizes that there's blood in the house, so they go upstairs, and there is Meredith, like, unconscious due to her wound that she acquired from Alaric. And I'm sorry, but I was really laughing. You guys don't know this. Meredith is Tori. Her real name is Tori, and her and Paul are married. So that's their first scene together. Is she's about to die, and he has to save her with his blood. I'm sorry, but I found that really funny, and I just found that funny. I don't know. I was giggling. Am I a bad person for finding that funny? I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. But yeah, I found that funny. But I found that cute. And of course, with Elena, people were like, oh my god, when Stefan looked in Elena's eyes, he like could control himself. It's so meant to be. They're gonna get back together. I get it. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, Elena. I mean, the writers would not, like, my argument is the writers would not create this Damon-Elena friendship. Like, they would not grow it into this state that it's at now, from friendship to, ooh, I kind of like you kind of thing. Or Elena, no, Damon loves her, but Elena's like, I don't know if I love you, and I don't know if I love Stefan, but I love you, and I don't know what to do with my life. Ah, I'm so confused, teenage angst, you know. They would not build it to this point just to have it crash down. Like, they would not build it up and then, you know what I mean? Get where I'm coming from? Yeah. So, oh man, I want this to be shorter than 20 some odd minutes. Oh well. So Damon, and they're back at the house. He has slept with Rebecca, and Sage does her little mind voodoo. And mind voodoo, that's what I'm just gonna call it now. Mind voodoo. So she finds out what's going on with Rebecca, asking questions and stuff. So she tells Damon in the shower, which I love a lot, because for that rest of that whole part he was in a towel, which is, I love that. I love when Ian Somerhalder's in a towel. Anyway, so nothing but a towel. I mean, I'm sure he's wearing boxers underneath the towel, but still. Anyway, you get where I'm coming from. So Sage tells him, well, basically she just like transfers thoughts into his brain through the lips or whatever, that makes sense. Anyway, basically he finds out that Rebecca has discovered that there is another white oak tree, and she's trying to find out the location so she can destroy it, so her and Klaus and her family won't be killed again. And we also know that the ship milling wood yard thing is owned by the Salvatore. So Damon quickly gets out of the shower and he's like, I'm gonna have to find these. So he's like, Sage, go distract Rebecca while I go find whatever I need to find. So he goes through the milling thing books, and he finds out that the Wickery Bridge is made of the wood, or it's been built with the wood, and if that makes sense. So I was just like laughing. I'm like, I'm like, no way. I mean, I love this one person on Tumblr. It was Mystic Falls Confessions. I love that Tumblr, by the way. And they basically commented, wouldn't it be funny if the Salvatore house was made out of the white oak tree? I would have died, but of course I can't have that. But I think that would have been an interesting turn of events. They just find out like, oh my god, my house is made out of a thing that could kill an original. So Damon finds that, so he quickly burns it and tells Sage that. Basically, Sage then realizes that, oh, this, she knows this could kill an original. So she's just like, that brings a problem to me. And Damon's like, what, your boyfriend or whatever? And basically Damon makes a promise and says that, well, I promise that that Finn is off limits, and I'll just kill Klaus and Rebecca and whatever. And you think, and in my head I'm like, but they're connected. Of course Damon knows that they're connected, and even if he kills Klaus, then Finn will die anyway. So you're thinking, oh, okay, well, Sage obviously probably doesn't know that. Of course, we soon realize that she does know that, because she reads Damon's mind, and therefore she tells Rebecca that, hey, guess what, the wood is underneath the Wickery Bridge, you better burn that now. So she does, and then Damon, being the bearer of bad news, tells Sage, after he finds out that she has double-crossed him, and told Rebecca that, hey, do this. He basically says that Finn was on a suicide mission, and he basically was going to be the sacrifice in his mother's quest to kill her. Quest? Can I call it a quest? Probably not, but I'm using it anyway. Quest to kill her kids. And Sage doesn't want to believe it. And Damon says, well, it's true. He didn't care about you. He didn't care about anybody. He just wanted to die because he feels that being a vampire is bad. And I kind of did feel bad for Sage, but at the same time, she did go double-cross Damon, so she did kind of deserve it. And at the same time, I was just like, oh well, this is what, Part of me was like, oh, that's kind of mean, Damon. What are you doing? But at the same time, whatever. We soon find out that this was all an act. That Damon's anger was all an act, and he actually saved the sign that said Wickery Bridge, and it's actually made out of white oak, so it's just like, oh, okay. And so they do actually have a weapon. Damon faked his anger, and he's like, what does he say? He's like, I'm a philanthropist, da-da-da-da. And so he shows Stefan, hey, here's our weapon. And he's like, game's back on. Let's go kill an original, da-da-da-da. And another thing. the Elena Jeremy conversation. We finally get to see Jeremy after I don't know how many episodes. Oh my god. And I was like, oh, it's Jeremy! And then that whole time, right before, like, after she said, she asked Jeremy if he's talked to Alaric, because she found those letters that Alaric has written to Jeremy. I'm guessing Alaric did it while he was in his psychotic state. I don't think Alaric is aware of that. Aware that he wrote those things. Obviously, because I think, you know what I mean. You know from past episodes. So that whole time I was like, Elena, tell Jeremy what the fuck is going on. But she doesn't. She's like, no, everything's fine. I'm like, why are you not telling your brother what is going on? Like, if I was Elena and I knew my brother was wearing a ring that could possibly turn him into a psychotic killer, bent on killing whoever is in his sights, you know, and then not remembering he did it afterwards. You know, like, why would you not tell him that? Like, I got so mad. I'm like, Elena, what is your problem? Like, do you not, like, do you want your brother to be, like, crazy? Like, seriously? Like, God. Whatever, I just don't understand. Like, would you do that? Like, would you just be like, oh, everything's fine? Or would you, if your brother was on a psychotic rampage, unknowingly on a psychotic rampage, killing people randomly, and then not remembering it, would you tell him, like, hey, you should probably take off that ring before that happens? Or would you just be like, oh, nothing's fine, it's okay, you're okay, like, everything's fine, you know, everything's hunky-dory in the world of vampires, witches, and werewolves. Yeah, you know, like, nothing's going on, you know? Everything is great, you know what I mean? So yeah, as you guys know from the beginning of this video, I didn't like this episode too much. I just felt like it was a filler for what's to come next episode. I'm very excited for next episode. The pictures of Damon being tortured by Rebecca are very intriguing to me, even though I don't like when Damon is being tortured, because I'm just like, my baby's being tortured, I don't like it. But I like Rebecca when she's like being like a badass bitch. I love that. But again, I'm not looking forward to this continuation of the storyline being like, we have to kill a freaking original every 5 seconds. I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah. So what do you guys think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I didn't hate it, but I just didn't. Again, it just felt like a filler episode, again, for what's to come. So, yeah. Comment questions. What do you think? Well, we all know what's wrong with Alaric, but do you think Bonnie's little spell that she cast will work? Will he actually eat the herbs that she left, or will his psychotic mind be like, I can't eat that, you know, like tell him not to? Also, would you have told Jeremy what is wrong? Because I would have. Like, I'm sorry, if, like, especially if it's a brother, if my brother or just anyone in my family is like almost like wearing a ring that's bad, I would tell them in a heartbeat. Also, what do you think is going to happen next episode besides the, you know, that? How do you think it'll end? Will they succeed in killing Original? I don't think they will. Something is going to happen. I think due to Alaric. I think something's going to happen with Alaric to prevent them from succeeding in that. So, sorry this video is really long. I'm kind of debating on whether to start editing these videos or not. I may or may not. It just depends on when I film them, and how, yeah. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in next week's review or any other video that I decide to put up on this channel. So, yeah. Bye-bye. Please comment below.